interesting process, I would say. You know, it was exciting to be coming back, but a lot of things to make sure that was put in place, to make sure that our staff felt settled and ready to go, that all the protocols that we had to do and put in place were ready to go. But for the most part, I think, you know, staff really helped with that because everybody was excited to be having students back into the building, and building that community was really what we focused on as a staff at the beginning. So that's what we talked about, to introduce our students back into school and build that community again. Help them feel safe, help them feel excited about being back, and really it was a nice transition because the kids were excited. Probably that same note, just making sure that everybody felt safe and included and felt that they were ready to come back, both staff, students, and families, just making sure that everybody knew what was expected, but also were excited and wanting to be back in the building and knowing that we were here to help them with that transition, because students were coming from all over the place. They were coming from maybe not being in school for a year and a half to being in school part of last year, but remote part of last year. So everybody had a transition back. So it was just making sure that everybody felt that they were welcomed and in a safe spot. Well, being virtual vice principal last year, I worked mainly from home months before we had sort of transitioned back to home. So I think, you know, you get into a different routine of being virtual for everything, and all of our meetings were virtual. All of our communication with parents was either through emails or conversations through the telephone. Nothing was face-to-face. So it was transitioning back to that reality of knowing that now everything is back in person and face-to-face. And I actually was thankful that that was what we were doing. I was very excited to be not virtual anymore. I think having to be more resilient and patient and perseverance, all of those things that, because with COVID and all the protocols that we had to follow with going virtually, it was all new. We all had to figure out how to be virtual and how to learn that whole process. So I think through that, learning different ways to communicate, I was virtual for the whole board, so learning different school dynamics and demographics and those kinds of things, I think helped me just learn so much more about Thames Valley as a whole, and then that allowed me to transition easier into a new school for myself and bring some of those traits with me.